Today on Running to Him.
The love for your spouse will make the years seem like days. Today's reading from the reading plan is Genesis chapter 29, and we'll concentrate on verses 29, 18 through 20. Genesis 29, 18 through 20 says, Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel. Laban said, It is better that I give her to you than give her to another man. Stay with me. So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of his love for her. Now, at the risk of sounding old-fashioned, I don't quite understand the concept of marriage today. It seems to me like it's more of a contract than it is a complete joining together of two people. I believe that God created marriage because that is the way that two people can grow in a bond with each other and with God. Now, we aren't told the time frame between when Jacob first saw Rachel and when he fell in love with her. I assume that it is a relatively short period of time because after a month of being in Laban's house, Laban, asked Jacob about paying him for his work, and Jacob's immediate response was to ask for Rachel as his payment. I know of times when developing a love for another person takes a long period of time, but in my experience with Tony, my love developed almost at once, and I had a very strong emotional experience when I first held her hand as we skated around the ice skating rink after meeting her for 5 minutes or so earlier. I only saw her a couple of times before I left Germany for the United States to celebrate my 21st birthday. Soon after I arrived at my home, my older sister remarked to my mother that she thought something was different about me, and she thought I was falling in love with this girl that I met in Germany. Roughly 2 months after returning to Germany from the United States, Tony and I became engaged, and 7 months after that we were married. Now, as I write this, we've been married 49 years, and those years seem to have just flown by. So I can understand how Jacob might have felt about his relationship with Rachel. And it's so obvious that Rachel felt the same way about Jacob. The fact that they were in love, just the fact that like Tony and I are in love, does not mean that we always agree with one another and that we don't have our differences. But our love overcomes those differences. As we read later on in the chapter, we find that Jacob is deceived. He's about to receive some of his own medicine, so to speak. Laban is better at deception than Jacob ever was. It's interesting if we think back and ask ourselves what Laban wanted when he asked Rachel to stay for an extra 10 days prior to leaving Haran to be married to Isaac, Genesis 24:25. While it's just my speculation, I think he wanted to get more money from Abraham's servant, and the way to do it was to have Abraham's servant stay a little longer. In the next few days, as we read further, Laban is constantly deceiving Jacob and changing the rules as the days go on. Even with all that deception, Jacob willingly works for Laban to keep up his end of the bargain. Loving your spouse allows you to live through difficult situations.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.